So we've been stupid enough to make 100 podcasts. And for that, we've decided that the 100th podcast should be a little bit special. So we'll be talking about what it's been like to make 100 podcasts and also what it's been like to follow Leeds United in lockdown. So if you like this kind of stuff, if you're a Leeds fan, we would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. And in return, we'll try and give you loads of content in your notifications. There you go. And give us a like as well and write some comments and share it on Facebook and tell your friends and family and put it on Instagram and insert a funny joke. Because I've run out of funny jokes.
100 episodes. There's only so many jokes you can make.
Exactly.
The following podcast contains some strong language and some very average opinions.
Any references to actual people are wildly inaccurate. It's probably best if you don't listen at all. The Roaring Peacock Podcast.
Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock Podcast. This is a special. It's the 100th podcast. That's right. And get ready for some stats. 92,000 views, listens, downloads. We've done 100 podcasts in 198 days or 6.5 months. We've had 50 guests. We've raised £3,500 to bring toys to children at Christmas in the Holbeck area. And we've had 8,000 hours of watch time. People have watched us for 8,000 hours.
Yeah.
What's wrong with them?
I don't know.
Not their life. I know the lockdown's affected people in a really detrimental way, but fucking
We're
hell.
an escape from their families, aren't we?
Come on, people. What's going on?
Speaking of lockdown, that's the other topic we'll be talking about. It's been 389 days since a last game with fans. That was Luke Yeboah Ayling smashing it in off the underside of the crossbar against Huddersfield 389 days ago. Since then, we've had 9 games in the Championship that we've missed. So we missed promotion. We missed winning the Championship. We've had 2 cup games, which we missed. So we've missed bowing out in the first opportunity in both the EFL Cup and the FA Cup. And we've missed 29 games in the Premier League. We've been in lockdown so long that we started a podcast. That's how long we've been in lockdown. So my name's Adonis, and you know me as at the Adelites on Twitter. It's a very good hello from me. And joining us to talk about all of that and more in our 100th podcast, there's a few people in the room here. So Ryan.
Hello, now then.
Barney.
Hiya, mate. All right.
Ewan.
Hello.
Ross.
Hello.
And Sam.
Hello.
Okay, so let's start off with lockdown then. 2 minutes each then, to 2 or 3 minutes each to try and keep it short and snappy. Should we start off with you, Ross?
Yeah, go on then. So following Leeds in lockdown?
Yeah.
Nothing much has changed for me, to be honest. I live 300 miles away from that road, and I've been to a game since we were last in the Premier League. So, yeah, nothing has changed. I watch every game on TV, or I watch it on LUTV, or I listen to Bryn Law and Ben Parker on LUTV radio. Like, I've seen or I've heard every game since I was last at Ellen Road. It's a fucking massive commute for me to make that. And it costs about 200 quid on the train to get there and back. And then, yeah, I wasn't paying that for Ken Bates price tickets. I am tempted to go as soon as we can next season. But yeah, not a lot has changed for me, to be honest. I'm still enjoying Leeds the same way I always do.
Okay. Enjoying Leeds, though. That's the thing that's changed, I guess.
Yes, there was a stage 4 or 5 years ago, well, actually 3 or 4 years ago, when Steve Evans was in charge, where I absolutely hated Leeds and football as a concept, because that's what Steve Evans has done to me. But yeah, I'm really excited for the next game we got, because it's almost full circle. The Heckingbottom era was also an incredible low, and we're about to go and batter his Sheffield United team and keep them bottom of the Premier League. So it's nicely rounding itself off. This is, and it's been a great season back in the top flight, and people know who we are again.
I feel like Steve Evans has done that to a lot of women as well.
He's converted them. just wearing his sombrero. That was all he was wearing.
Oh dear.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I can't see that.
Oh, God.
Them sandals and that sombrero, and that's it. Wow.
There's your image, Donny, for the podcast.
I've already done that one. I've already done it.
I've seen my cock in 2 years.
Crawley, I think. Okay.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm going to keep that in or not.
Keep it in. Keep it in.
Yeah. Okay. 100th podcast. Why not?
Why not?
Okay. Ryan. Leeds in lockdown.
Leeds in lockdown then. So I'm a season ticket holder, so I miss fucking everything about not being at Ellen Road. It's fucking garbage, but we got promoted, and we just the euphoria of all that, being at home, watching it on TV. It was good for me in a way to watch it like with my family, with my kids. Something that I don't normally do with football. So I've sort of like enjoyed that, but I miss it so much, man. I think a big thing for me is me and my brother. It's something that we live totally set different lives in our kid. But this is one thing that brings us together, and it's football. And it's that meeting up with him before the game, having a pint. I think he spoke about it before as well. And, just chatting up, catching up, and then walking to the ground. I just miss all that. And the sooner we get that back, the better. And obviously we've missed everything about, the promotion, that being at the ground. Stuff that everyone's going to, who goes and that, it has missed, We didn't
even mention all the greats that we haven't been able to say goodbye to, but it's another big part of it.
It has been a sad time for our club as well, over COVID, and the last 12 months we've lost a lot of our great players that without them we wouldn't have had the trophies, the good times. We haven't won a right lot without those guys, and they deserve everything that they're going to get when we get back in that ground. And hopefully, I think Ewan spoke about before that we could do something individually for each one of them because they deserve it as well as together.
Okay, Ewan?
Yeah, just on that, I haven't yet watched it, but I caught about 20 minutes of the Finding Jack Charlton thing last night, and you can tell that's going to be a brilliant but quite emotional watch. So, what a player he was, and you think about the caps between him and Peter Lorimer. I mean, and Norman Hunter. Jesus, I mean, some of those numbers, whatever. Some people won't get near it, will they? Again, so Leeds in lockdown. Probably somewhere in between. I mean, I don't go every week. I'm not a season ticket holder. I go more often than Ross, to be fair. But, I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you about that, Ross. About what do you feel about those guys that do come from like near where you live, who go every week? It's crazy, isn't it?
I think they're mad. Yeah, the Hampshire Whites, they do a great job of getting people to and from the games. And I've worked nights for the past 15 years. This is the first year that I've been working days, and I can't go anyway.
Yeah.
But I used to work every Friday night and into a Saturday. So the thought of commuting up to Leeds after a 12-hour night shift wasn't massively appealing. Yeah, especially with Evans in charge and the like.
Yeah, I just know people who just, no matter what they do, what time they get in, they just travel up to Leeds to watch every game and away. And it's like, I just think it takes a special kind of person. And
yeah, definitely.
But anyway, so I think there's been ups and downs. Let's go back to our format, and the downs have been, it's been really flat. The atmosphere, watching a game is not the same. A bit touching on, what Wiggy said, that getting it to watch all the games with your kids and around your family has been quite nice, actually. Because I go with my kids sometimes, but I go with the lads quite a lot or more often. So that's been quite good. Tell how well behaved my kids are when I said quite good. It hasn't been, brilliant. It's just been all right. Been all right. I won't miss watching it with them, but no, it has been nice watching it with the family and my brother and friends and stuff. Losses are really hard because when you do lose and you go to the game, you go to the pub, you sit with your mates, you get it out of your system. It's quite cathartic, and then you go home and you're sort of all right. And that's been really difficult. So the losses have felt twice as painful, twice as difficult. not even having a crowd atmosphere in the background watching the games on telly. I mean, listen, we've been able to watch more games on telly. It must be great for Ross because there's been virtually every game's been available on Amazon Prime, Sky, or BT Sport. So I mean, that's been brilliant, being able to catch up every game on the telly, but not having that buzz of the atmosphere, the crowd behind, being able to hear people yelp when they get tackled, just being like quite depressing. And just not seeing your mates, all that histrionics, all the kind of religious stuff about going to the game that Wiggy's touched on, that Ryan's touched on, about meeting up, having a beer, the smells, the burger van smell, the fried onions, you could smell that kind of watered pitch as you start walking up the stairs to look across the the pitch. That sight of looking across
watered
the pitch
mud.
with the players. Watered mud now. It would be. Like,
smell the bog and the midges and mosquitoes. You're swatting them away.
The monster trucks going around on the pitch. Yeah. But missing that sort of, as you walk up them steps, there's always a special feeling inside your body, like butterflies coming up as you get to the top of the steps. Look across that theatre, hear the crowd buzzing and the rumble of feet and that kind of all the things that we've talked about. You miss all them. The senses that hit you every time you go to watch Leeds, that's been really difficult. But as an event, watching them play and how they've competed and how they've represented us and the fans and themselves on the pitch has been absolutely brilliant. I don't think we could have asked for much more. Odd result here and there, but I think as a whole, what a delightful first season back.
Okay, Barney.
So Leeds during lockdown, it's been bloody hard, to be honest. I mean, for me, I'm a season ticket holder in the COP, and one of the things for me, it's like you work Monday to Friday, and that Saturday is like your release. 90 minutes and not having to think about where the next pay bill's going to come, how you're going to pay a bill, how you're going to do this. You don't have to worry about doing your food shop or anything. It's all about just concentrating on watching those 11 players. And it's also the routine for me. It's about, I mean, I used to go silly times. I used to get into Leeds for 10, half 10, go to Weatherspoons to get a breakfast, meet up with a mate who used to come from Birmingham. We used to go around the pubs around Leeds. Then we used to rush to get a taxi, quick one in the Peacock, and then into the ground. It's the thought of just walking up those stairs, like Ewan was saying. You're walking up those stairs, especially in the COP as well. I remember the first time I went when I was 9 years old, hearing the bells and the banging of doors and things, and you hearing all those sounds, and all of a sudden you walk up those stairs and you're hearing strings of Yasmin in the background. And you just see the whole crowd there as well. I'm getting goose pimples now.
You've got the hair up on the back of my neck.
It's amazing how much you miss going to a game, how much it means to you, just for your mental well-being as well. It's just amazing how much it can help you. And like a loss as well, like you were saying, you can go after the game, just get absolutely arsehole, and you just forget about it anyway. And I think, to be honest, well,
drink responsibly, kids.
Drink responsibly, kids.
But I also think sometimes people, when you're watching the game on TV, I think sometimes you're taking the game out of context as well. When you're watching it live, you see different things that you would not see on TV. And I think sometimes when we do lose a game or a result doesn't go our way, I think sometimes we may not have seen it properly, that game or that individual player, like one of my favourite players, Tyler Roberts, says anything. It's just really hard to I know it sounds really silly, but it's hard to get excited for a match day because it doesn't feel like a match day. Now a match day is like I go to click and collect to collect the shopping from Asda, rush home and watch the game on TV. Right. That's it. You don't feel any sort of emotion from the game.
Yeah, it comes up too quick, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it's almost just out of nowhere.
Yeah,
your liver will be pleased, Barney.
Yeah,
by the sounds of it, home instead.
Okay. I was about to say the beer's better at mine than it is at Ellen Road. To be fair, that's one of yours.
Old yours.
Yeah.
All right, and Sam.
Mine's a bit like Ross, to be fair. Mine's not changed that much. I had a season ticket up till when I left to go to New Zealand. This was in Gary Monk's season. And then as soon as we left, we actually started being good, so you're welcome. So for me, it's not really changed at all. If anything, it's actually improved because I don't have to wake up at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, put the game on, or I'm absolutely mangled in a club or something, and I've got my phone propped up while I'm dancing, trying to watch a Leeds game. It's changed.
Yeah. All right, love. I'm watching the game.
It's a mood killer, that, isn't it? Trying to dance, love.
Leeds are playing.
I remember when we beat Stoke 3-1 away, and that was a great game. But I was just like one eye open, like trying to like watch it. Oh, it's funny. But if anything, it's improved. But I still can't get a hang of no crowd, because you don't really realise it until, say, Ayling's gone for a throw-in and he does a close-up shot of him. You see no crowd behind you. Like, this is bizarre. It's still very weird. But yeah, now I'm back. I can't wait to go back again to Ellen Road and see us. We've got a lot to thank the team for. Hopefully get to say bye to players like Hernandez. A lot of like it's been mentioned, a lot of people have died, a lot of the legends of the club. So there's a lot to get back for. Hopefully it's not too long. I can't wait to say thanks to the team for giving us something happy to be about in lockdown in a shit time, really.
Okay. And
what's it like, Sam finger blasting a bird while watching Leeds on the
Train my eyes to go either way, mate.
I've never done that. Oh, you'll have to.
Yeah, I'll teach you that.
No, don't teach me. I don't want any lessons, mate.
It's like that train spotting scene, isn't it? When Emil's scoring against Holland. They're shagging on the bed. And he's anti-climaxing at the same time.
Oh dear. And for me then, Leeds in lockdown. Again, I live far away from Ellen Road, so in terms of the match day experiences, hasn't changed a lot. But I think for me personally, my life at the start of lockdown, I was very, very ill, and I have been quite sick for the last 4 or 5 years. And so getting healthy and having this time off where I can get healthy and just focus solely on my health, and I've been on furlough, so I didn't have to do it personally. That has given me the chance to get strong and get fit and find myself a bit more. And that's kind of what the Roaring Peacock was all about. So we can move on to that then. And yeah, just, I guess I'm the kind of the person behind it, and I wouldn't be able to do any of it without all of you guys. But at the same time, it's been an enormous amount of work for me. And why did I do this? To myself, I don't know.
Are you asking yourself the question, Donny? Why am I doing this?
Where this is going? Is this the last one we're doing?
100 and out.
No, but I guess for me, I don't know how metaphysical I want to get on a football podcast, but for me, it's been like when I was removed, when I went to Australia when I was 16, having had, been born in the LGI, brought up in Leeds, we had season tickets for 8 seasons in a row before we left. So that was like our thing. Me and my mum would go to the games. We'd go to every League Cup game. We'd go to every FA Cup game. We'd go to every European home game. And when I moved to Australia when I was 16, I don't think I can really describe that for you. If you're being kind of exiled from your tribe, maybe, and put into a foreign land where they do speak English, but barely. And it's all different sports, and everything about it is different. Social life, I had to finish my high school there, so it was just a very awkward time. when you're at an age when you're building your roots and you kind of set yourself up for life in a lot of ways. So, you know, there's stories about slaves getting taken away from their tribes in Africa and then being freed and going back to Africa. And this is, I guess, what I want to get into, which is not really knowing yourself. And I committed the cardinal sin of forgetting where I came from. So trust me, if you're a young person, you listen to this, never, ever, ever forget where you come from and never forget who you are. So the Adelites and the Roaring Peacock, that was all about me reconnected with myself and who I was after the craziest 20s you can ever imagine. I mean, maybe watch Fear and Loathing and you'll get some kind of an idea. Okay. So Roaring Peacock then. 100 podcasts in 198 days. I'm really proud of that. I cannot believe we've put out one podcast less than every 2 days.
Fucking love that.
Just for a little bit of reference for you, I do a video game podcast and we started 8 years ago and we're on episode 94.
Lazy bastards.
All right, then the Roaring Peacock then. And I guess you want to talk a little bit about the youth pod as well, Ross.
It's given me an outlet to talk about Leeds. My wife and all of my wife's family are Chelsea fans, and she doesn't give a fuck about Leeds. I've managed to convert my daughter. She's 6 years old, and my wife tried to put Chelsea pajamas on the other day, and she ran around the house screaming, saying "No, no, no!" And she grabbed her Leeds shirt and put that on. So, converted one.
Oh my God, Ross, that is some parenting there. Congratulations, Parent of the Year award goes to Ross Bell.
Problem is, she loves Pablo and she loves Gianni, so she's going to have a tough summer, I think, with those two going to leave. But I'll convert her. I'll make her a Brady fan instead. But yeah, I've got the Hampshire Whites. We meet once every couple of months in a pub just up the road, and that's great. But apart from that, yeah, it's an outlet to talk about Leeds. Before that, I was just shouting into the void of Twitter and getting annoyed at people that didn't see the game the same way I did, and the usual Twitter nonsense. But having a podcast to do it it's fantastic. I've got my own football podcast, and those guys they tolerate my talking about Leeds, but they care about other things and their own teams more. So it's just been fantastic to be able to do this, and I just appreciate the opportunity to. When you brought us on board, I thought I've seen loads of people before tweeting, "I'm going to do a Leeds podcast and get in touch." So I've messaged so many people, and it's never got off the ground. And the fact that it's got off the ground and it's gone 100 episodes in 198 days, and it's incredible. So thank you, Adonis.
Okay, Ross, thanks, and very well done on getting the youth pod off the ground. Okay, Ryan.
Yeah, so the Roaring Peacock. So I was listening, started to listen during lockdown. You know, I really enjoyed listening to you guys. Brought something different to the table, you know. And it's something that I wanted to get involved with, I think. And I think I messaged you, Donny, a few months back, but I'm finding things difficult in lockdown and stuff like that. And then I come on board, and it's sort of like gives you a sense of belonging again to something. So when you're at Ellen Road, you feel like you belong. And I think being a part of this, the podcast, the Roaring Peacock, and you guys, it's a sense of belonging again to something, and something that obviously we all enjoy, and something we all love to talk about, and our experiences, and just talking about the games before, during, after. It's just something you can really get off your chest, and this platform is absolutely amazing for that. And like Ross has said, just thanks for letting me be part of it.
We're proud and privileged to have you. Thanks, Ryan. Ewan?
Well, touching on what Ryan said, you know, whether you got involved in football hooliganism in the 80s, or whether you're somebody who goes to the games all the time, football's about identity, isn't it? And I think what the Roaring Peacock's done and is provided us with an identity at a time it's been really difficult to have one, particularly as a Leeds fan, as a football fan. And it's also given us the other thing that all those things give you, which is a community and some camaraderie and friends. You know, I've been surprised because I'm like one of the most difficult people. Like I've got my circle of friends that I've known for many, many moons, and I'm a very gregarious and outgoing person, but I don't let people in very easily. But I've absolutely loved meeting you guys, and you've got like people I consider to be good friends, and I've really loved it as an outlet to be able to sort of express myself. And I've got to be frank. I mean, Donny, we sort of spoke right at the very beginning, at the birth of the idea, and it kind of didn't happen, did it? For a number of reasons. You know, I kind of went off and did my own thing, and so fortunate to kind of stay involved on the WhatsApp group, which is another source of entertainment during lockdown, and it's really a really good active group as well. You know, everybody sort of contributes and you know, replies to stuff, and you get involved. But I'm absolutely eternally proud, and if I never do anything else, I'm so proud of All Elves, aren't we? Which was absolutely all about this group and the enthusiasm and the energy that people in the group put behind it, and the ideas and the simplicity of which we managed to create something brilliant. If I never do anything else, I'll be so proud of that we did that, and it was an amazing thing to do, and it was so successful. But I'm really proud of what you've done, Donny, for all of us, and what you've created and what we've all been able to contribute to as a result. So again, I just want to thank you, because it wasn't a thing I was intending to do. I don't think it was something I was necessarily natural at or blessed or, you know, at doing. But I guess, you know, I feel quite confident with doing it now. I enjoy doing it. It's something I love doing. I've made good friends out of it, and I can't wait till, you know, at some point we might actually get in the pub and have a beer together and chew the fat and do it for real. But yeah, really honoured, really proud. Thanks for all your hard work, and thanks for getting me involved, Donny. And thanks you lads for making me laugh and making me smile and keeping me entertained through the last bloody hell 390 odd days.
Well, I disagree there. You are a natural at it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks. Thank you. I would never have known, though, would I? You wouldn't have known if I hadn't have got involved. And like I say, I got my second chance, and I grabbed onto it and did a couple of reviews and the charity stuff. I loved doing it. And people were sort of saying to me, "Oh, you're really good on that." You know, I was like, "Am I?" All right, fucking hell, I've got a big enough head as it is, right? So I'll just do more now. You're gonna get more of me, but I've loved it, proper loved it, and I enjoy watching it back. I don't often like, you know, when you don't like listening to your own voice, and when you record yourself, especially his blunt Leeds accent sometimes. But I even listen back to it and laugh at myself and at other people that are involved and we interact with. So it's been great. It's cracking.
Fantastic. Yeah, and it's good. It is good to have some thick, strong Leeds accents, especially just talking about Leeds and representing the club in the city.
So it's me and Ryan, isn't it? Me and Ryan have got the proper Leeds. Barney's like Barney's like posh. He's from posh bit. He's only just got a Leeds postcode, I think, Barney. You know what I mean?
That was as good a segue as any then. So, Barney, thoughts on the Roaring Peacock?
I've just really enjoyed it. I mean, I've been on a couple of Leeds podcasts before, and it's not been very well organised. I just love the energy from you, Donny, every single day, saying, right, who's up for this, who's up for that. The WhatsApp group is brilliant. How we interact with each other. I just think it's good because we're different people. We're not trying to do the same thing as individuals and also as a podcast as well. I remember when you put the tweet out saying, do you want to get involved? And I got into contact with you straight away. And a lot of people on elsewhere think that me personally coming onto a podcast is because I want to be famous. No, it's not. I just like to talk about football, and I like to talk about Leeds United. So when you said, yeah, contact us, we did a Zoom meeting, and then you wanted to do an interview. It's like, fucking hell, I just want to do about Leeds. And then then I realised you knew this was you wanted to do it properly. It wasn't just a few lads in the bedroom talking some shite and popping something out. We actually put quality out every single time as well. I think that's really important for the engagement of getting more listeners and more subscribers on the YouTube. Well, I was talking about subscribe,
yeah.
So
just drop that in.
So I just really enjoy it. When we have those conversations on WhatsApp and when we talk about, I mean, when we went offline, the three of us, me, you, and Hugh, and talking about what we did in our lives after Leeds, outside of Leeds and stuff. It actually, like everyone was saying, I feel like we've got some really good friendships going on, and I would just really appreciate being on. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.
Sure.
Thank you, Barney.
I'm going to say, lads going in the bedrooms and popping something off is something completely different, Barney. That's what we would have been doing if we hadn't been on podcast. Boredom sets in.
Yeah, I mean, I highly doubt that any of us are going to become famous out of this. Maybe it'd be easier to rob a bank, I think. Robbing a bank, I reckon you'd get on the front page of the paper and cause some news headlines. Okay, Sam, the Roaring Peacock.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to podcasts for years and years and listened to numerous shit Leeds ones, people trying to take themselves way too seriously. And this one came out, and I think I seen it on Twitter, and straight away, first episode, banged it on and loved it straight away. I just loved the way that you guys chatted. You didn't take yourself too seriously. It was a lot of fun, and that's the sort of podcast I like. Having a laugh and not taking yourself too seriously. So as soon as I could possibly have got involved, I did, and absolutely loved it. We've got a decent friendship group, and I'd say about 3 of them are football fans. There's about 4 or 5 that aren't, and they're all like armchair fans. One's a Scum fan, one's an Arsenal fan, one's a West Ham fan. They're all from fucking North Yorkshire. Who knows why they're supporting them? And they're into football, but not massively into it. So for me to have a release to talk to it, to use it about, have a laugh about, and to not chew my missus' ear off anymore, because she got a bit sick of it, especially promotion and Bielsa and Phillips and all that. She's got a bit sick of hearing of it. So to have somewhere where I can chat and meet some lovely guys and have a laugh, it's been brilliant. And yeah, I've really missed going to the pub and chatting bollocks, especially at Leeds games. So this is a perfect replacement, and I think Ewan said as well. Hopefully soon we can actually meet up and have a drink, because that'd be brilliant to actually meet you guys in person. So yeah, absolutely loved it, and yeah, thanks for everyone for getting me involved, and for you, Donny, for doing all the editing, because it looks like a right ball ache. But you do a brilliant job of it, mate.
Thank you. Okay, is that about it then? Do we have time for anything more?
I want to quickly mention one of my favourite moments of Leeds in lockdown was the Guard of Honour from Derby. That was the sweetest nut that possible. That was, and we still won the game and all. I'm hungover.
That's a good idea, actually. Then we could just shout out our favourite moments, no particular order, if you want.
Yeah, that's definitely mine. And that Liverpool game.
Yeah,
just felt incredible to be back, even though we lost. It didn't feel like I lost today at all.
Yeah, I think Villa was a highlight, because I got a bit of a thing for Villa at the moment. I thought beating them, particularly Bamford, and beating Sheffield United. I think that the highlights for me have been where you have been able to sort of get back to doing something that would be normal, I guess. So watched Sheffield United in the pub. I watched Derby in the pub. So Sheffield United in the Premier League, Derby, when prior to getting promoted, we got the Guard of Honour. I watched it in a mental pub full of Leeds fans, full of great lads. And then went into Millennium Square to celebrate afterwards, which I know probably we shouldn't have done, but I spent the whole day, got an absolute stinking hangover, spent all day and night out. And that was probably one of my highlights from sort of lockdown and from watching Leeds, was the Derby game, going out into Leeds after, going in Millennium Square, celebrating with all the fans and all that sort of chaotic scene that people are familiar with now. And that's pretty rare, isn't it? Because one of the other sides of being locked down, not going to the games, is I've had less hangovers from sort of all day drinking. And there has been times where I've come back from games and I've been in bed and my son's come in and gone, "Oh, Dad, what was the Leeds score?" And I've literally gone, "I don't know." Not a clue. Not a clue. I was arsehole before we went in. And I sort of remember we scored. And then I think we were in bar for about 40 minutes at half time and saw the last 10 minutes, and then the rest of blur, mate. Go have a look on Sky Sports News, mate, and see what the score was. Sorry, that was a long highlight.
Oh, that's high. When we actually got promoted, me and my missus booked a weekend away in Leeds about a month or two before, when all the hotels were doing cheap weekend deals or whatever, and it just happened to fall on the weekend we got promoted. Leeds is only about half an hour away, especially on trains.
No wonder she's sick of you talking about it.
I know, mate, but she got really into it. That's the thing. That was her like seeing the fact that the whole of Leeds was just loopy all weekend, and she took that on board and was like, right, I'm into Leeds now. I'm invested in Leeds. I love Bielsa. I love Philip. So it just her seeing it. Yeah, that's it, mate. So it was brilliant. And like on the train down, watching the West Brom Huddersfield game, and then literally game finished, Leeds were promoted. 5 minutes later, pulled into Leeds, and already there was people. There was one guy with wrapping paper, cardboard tube, with a Leeds. What was it? A Leeds towel sellotape to it, and it was waving it around on that statue outside the stadium, outside the train station. Sorry, it was fucking brilliant. And just that whole weekend of, we were out shopping the next day and bang, we're champions. And then all that day, like you were saying, and that Sunday against Derby, and then going to Millennium Square after, we managed to sneak her to come there with me. And yeah, it was just brilliant, mate. And what a weekend that was. It'll stay with me forever, that.
Yeah. Speaking of getting your missus to support Leeds, do you know what? I felt like I was, I'm not religious at all, but I felt like I was going straight to hell by turning her into a Leeds fan after that Derby playoff semi-final defeat. Oh my God. I thought, no, I'm never going to be forgiven by anything in the universe for this. This is probably one of the worst things that anyone can ever make another person do. Care about Leeds United.
Definitely not.
But you know what? She was so positive, and she was like, "No, we're going to get promoted this season."
She won't
I was like, "Are we?"
That's when you can tell she's a new. That's when you can tell she's a new convert, Donny.
Just give it a few years.
Next year. We've been saying that for 16, love.
Okay. Quick favourite moment then, Barney, Ryan?
Favourite moment for me is when we played Man City at home. It was just absolutely fantastic. Probably one of the best Premier League games for some years. And it just felt really proud seeing those players from the Championship going head to toe against world-class players. I think it was fantastic. I mean, after the game, a lot of people were saying that, wow, what a game, what a game. But I'd just like to say one thing. One of the biggest regrets probably that will be in my life is not going to either Millennium Square or to see the fans come out in the bus. The players in the bus. That when I saw it, I was like, no, I'm not going, can't go. And when I saw it, I was actually in tears because there's not many times you can experience that again. So I was proper gutted that I didn't go to that.
I wouldn't beat yourself up about that, mate.
Yeah, it was the sensible thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
So. I'm not saying anything bad about anybody who went there because it's touch and go. It's really on the edge of whether I would have gone, and I've got an autoimmune disease, and I got COVID, and it nearly had me in hospital. I was sick for 2 months, so yeah, it's really on the edge. But I know what you like, and just don't beat yourself up about it. You're saying it's like the biggest regret of your life. It might have been the best decision of your life. You just never know.
I know it sounds probably a bit over far-fetched a bit, but it's like when you saw the scenes and you see the photos now, you just think, fucking hell, I bet that was absolutely immense being in there.
Yeah, just vicarious. That's the way I look at it. I couldn't have been there. There was no way I was going to get there, but I celebrated. Let me tell you. Yeah. You can ask my neighbours. Okay, and
I'm going to say from somebody who went
we've
to
lost somebody.
Yeah, Sam's
gone. Is
somebody went to Buff. Went down to Ellen Road and went to Millennium Square. It's I feel like a bit of a bastard now. I feel like I'm just like, I'm anti-human race. I'm like, I don't make sensible decisions, but anybody who knows me well enough knows that's always been the same. But I think, what, it was like an instant thing that I decided to do it. It probably was stupid, but I'm probably of a different mind, and I'm probably fortunate and blessed enough not to have any, health problems that, like you, Barney, I thought, I've waited a long time. Might not happen again. I can't miss it. I've got to be there, All them big moments in Leeds' history, whether I go every week or not, I've been there, Bournemouth, relegation, Ipswich to League One, relegation against Bolton, back to the Championship, promotion back to Division One, or what's now the Premier League back in 1990. I've been there, and it was like another moment like that where you just think the memories last forever. And God bless, I got away with it, didn't I? And I think so glad I did, because I wanted to be there, and it was an amazing experience, as you can imagine. But equally like Donny, don't beat yourself up about that, because it was the right thing to do on it.
You won't have missed out, Barney. That's what I would say. I'm sure that there'll be an open top bus parade or something.
I hope so. Yeah,
there will be. There will be. Okay, Ryan.
I think my favourite.
We're back now, lads. We're back now. There's going to be loads in the future. We're back. Not even.
So yeah, my favourite moment didn't even involve a Leeds game. It were that Huddersfield West Brom game, where we were confirmed that we were going up. I was sat with my daughter, wife were at work, and about final whistle blow, I just dropped to my knees, tears rolling down my face. Daughter's laughing her head up at me. What's going on? But then when she realised what was going on, she just embraced it with me, and it was such a magical moment that was, and I'll live with me forever. The minute we got promoted back up to Premier League, so I quickly ran over to Sainsbury's and got a case of Prosecco and proceeded to get absolutely bollocksed.
When that goal went in, I think it was Emile Smith Rowe, wasn't it? 1919.
I've never celebrated another goal like that in my life.
No. Nice. And we've got wooden floor here. And I slid on my knees into the next room, like. Oh dear.
I've got a good story about that, actually. That a bit like Ryan. So I was cooking. I remember my memory's rubbish now. Too many bangs to the head. But I was downstairs cooking in the kitchen. So our kitchen's like down in the cellar, sort of all the downstairs, and the kids were upstairs. And I can't remember, was it the next day? Did we need to win? If they'd have got a result, did we need to win the next day to be guaranteed promotion? Or was it the Derby game? Was that?
Brentford played Stoke the day after.
That's right. Yeah.
And if they didn't win, we were up guaranteed.
Champions. So I must have said to my kids, we'll get promoted tomorrow, hopefully. That's what we're waiting on. And saw that result coming on the telly as I was cooking, and they were upstairs doing whatever they were doing. And I turned the telly off. They came down. I went, lads, got some bad news for you. Got it wrong. Can't get promoted tomorrow. Like, what do you mean, Dad? My eldest face, who understands a bit more, like dropped. He was like, what do you mean we can't get promoted tomorrow? Don't say that, Dad. I thought that was it. I thought we just had to go and get a result tomorrow, and we're up. I was like, no, it's done. We don't get promoted. We're not going to get promoted tomorrow. He was proper sad. He was stood on the bench, like looking at me eye level, going, what do you mean? I don't understand what's happened. And I went, I played it out, strung it out like a dad, a cruel dad would. A dad that's kids have annoyed him over many years. I thought, I'm going to string this one out a bit. And he was getting a bit upset. And I went, we've already been promoted. And the minute I let myself go and said, that's it, we've been promoted. I, like you, Ryan, I mean, I don't shed a tear very often, but I'd literally tear. I was welling up. Yeah. The kids were hugging me. They were going absolutely mental around the kitchen, diving on me. And I was welled up, man, proper like emotional about it, because I thought, that's it. At last, that all them years of despair and heartache, we're back. And that's the thing, Barney, we're back now, mate. So going to be plenty more brilliant occasions to go.
Surely the club will do something as well, won't they?
Yeah, I hope so.
Because they're going to have to, aren't they? They usually do a big bus parade or bus tour or something. Surely they're going to do something where everyone can be involved.
Yep. Certainly it's going to happen. Okay. So that's pretty much all we've got time for. Do we want to do final thoughts, or should we just wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we've covered most, haven't we?
Yeah.
Final thoughts then, Ross.
It's to another 100 in the next 198 days.
Oh, no, please.
one every other day throughout the off season as well.
Okay. Barney?
So 100, and it's on.
Okay, Sam.
Well, yeah, more of this to come, and I wore my jazzy shirt just for this occasion. So you're welcome.
Very nice. Sam's Sunday best. If you're listening on the
Yeah,
podcast, is
baby.
a Hawaiian.
If
shirt.
not, check it out on YouTube and subscribe while you're there.
Right. Ryan, final thoughts?
100 not out. Let's keep going. Keep doing what we're doing, and let everyone subscribe and like.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ryan. And Ewan?
To use cricket parlance, 100 not out. Let's keep going. Let's not get a silly LBW on 101. And I think Sam's shirt is definitely a tribute to Frank Worthington.
Right. Too many buttons done up there.
Yeah,
I know. I thought 1 or 2 would be all right. Like
You need to,
Your buttons down to your knackersack, mate.
yeah, and get some hair on that chest.
Yeah, I was
exactly.
gonna say,
And a
it's not good enough.
Big medallion,
Yeah,
gold
yeah.
chain. You're away, mate. But another final thought. Thanks to all viewers and all people who subscribe and all people who listen on Spotify.
Yeah,
Keeps us going.
Totally. I mean, 92,000 views, listens, and downloads are just I can't believe it. Really, it's
Crazy.
much better than I could even have dreamed. We also have to thank people who aren't here. So Rob, Wiggy, Stats, Josh Pearson, Lee Wakefield. He's come on board in the group, as well as Isaac, who is hopefully going to help me with some of the editing going forward. Leon, of course, Matty, LUFC Academy Central. So he's involved more in the youth pod as well, and Varun, our Indian Peacock, as well as, of course, all the Leeds overseas guys. And we have to mention Alex at Riot Badger and Cookie, who have also been a massive support to the Roaring Peacock, the inception story, the origin story of the Peacock. And of course, just going back to before this all started, then it was actually Stats who I'd been thinking of doing a magazine. I thought I could do a fanzine, and it quickly became apparent that there was a lot less involved in a podcast, surprisingly enough, than doing a fanzine, which is incredibly difficult. And hats off to the Square Ball for keeping up that. I eventually want to do something like that, but it's hard enough just doing the podcast at the minute and the blog. So Stats put out a tweet and said, "Hey, does anybody want to start a podcast?" And that's kind of where it happened. I messaged him on Twitter, and then I got in touch with Laura Kenny, and she recommended Ewan. So the original lineup was meant to be Ewan and Stats, and it's so good now to have them both very involved in the podcast. And of course, the original lineup that we settled with after a number of laborious interviews, which I never want to have to revisit, was Alex, Riot Badger, and Ross. So Ross has been there from the start, and Ewan and Stats as well. So special thanks to those guys. Is that it?
That's it, mate. We've done it.
That's it.
100 pods. Can I sleep now?
Well, we've got youth pod on Thursday, so only for a day or two.
Oh God. So if you haven't followed us on Twitter, we are at Peacock's Raw. There's also at Barney___21, who's part of the red light district now. If you're listening on the podcast, he's got a red light on. I think he's in the window. He's in the window, ladies.
Oh, he's got nipple tassels on his lead shirt.
Very nice. How much is it, Barney? 150 euros?
It's 3 times I had.
3? Wow. Okay, there you go.
Just want some fun.
Good man.
He's turned a few heads, that one. Not as many as she has stomachs.
On Twitter as well, Machiavelli at Ewan Metcalf.
Buonanotte.
Did we decide on a nickname for you yet?
I keep saying to you, listen, just my mum called me Foxy the other day.
Foxy.
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 There we go.
You
I
know.
I know. I shouldn't have said that, should I? Sometimes I need to think before I open my mouth. I can't. It was something to do with the podcast, though. Let me just go on. You talk amongst yourselves.
Well, I was thinking Mac, because Machiavelli, but also Metcalf, Mac.
Yeah, well, I used to get called Mac when I played football, because when I was slimmer and had a little bit of hair, but was very receded, I used to look. Apparently, I played in a team of nearly all black footballers, so I played for Prince Philip's, Jane Calcer, and a couple of teams down in Chapeltown, and they used to call me Gary Mac. So there you go.
Nice.
Comparison.
Yeah.
As well on Twitter, ring that bell at Rossbell1984.
Yep, follow me there. It's a hoot.
Don't oversell it, Ross.
Well, it's average at best, but yeah, follow me.
Sam Ward LUFC at Sam Ward LUFC.
Goodbye, everyone. Follow me, don't. I don't have many followers. I'm not really that asked. But you can if you want. Follow the Peacocks right instead.
The Warden of the North. That
Yes.
was a nickname for you, wasn't it?
I'll take that.
Bigwig is the nickname for Ryan, which we haven't started using yet, but we could. So at Ryan Wignall 1.
See it?
And you had a message from your mum that you wanted to let us know about.
My mum's bonkers, right? But she put. I've just listened to the podcast. This is the other thing, right? I was getting more subscribers because I'm literally threatening even my own family with violence if they don't. I threatened to leave my wife the other day. I said, "Have you subscribed yet?" And she went, "Oh no." I went, "Right, that's it. This is getting
the papers done."
Yeah, the kids have put a bit of pressure on us, but this is really starting to grate on me now. But so just listen to the podcast. Prince of Trickery was slightly better than the dictionary definition of Machiavellian: crafty, cunning, deceitful, double-dealing, foxy, underhand, unscrupulous, etc. We used to call Frank Worthington smooth and easy because there was a TV ad for a beer called Worthington's Bitter, and the catch line was smooth and easy. Once saw him in a motorway services with the team, and he looked like a greasy spiv with tight white trousers, etc. But I was obviously clearly amusing everybody. So she did. I just, in my own mind, which is even more weird, I've imagined that my mum called me Foxy, but it was some dictionary definition of Machiavellian, which it's not particularly flattering, Machiavellian.
So you've read that, right? You've read that, and you've had your chin up the rest of the day, walking on air, going, "Oh, I'm Foxy."
Foxy, man. Proper Foxy, mate. Scrupulous, double dealing, deceitful. I didn't know it was so accurate. Just keep calling me Machiavelli.
Okay. And a few of the guys have mentioned it, but we've got a YouTube channel. If you'd like to like the video, comment on it, and subscribe, that would help us out. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers, 44 away now. Okay. That was your lot, wasn't it?
That's it.
I'm starving.
And he needs to go put another 50p in meter.
I need to go. I've got a punter anyway at the window.
Love it.
Okay.
Always a pleasure, lads.
Most of our stats come from LUFC Stats or LUFC Data on Twitter. A very special thanks to Barney Stewart Cook, Ewan and Howard Metcalf, Josh Pearson, Laura, Leon and Rob, The Light Show, and all our family and friends.
So many games to play, don't care what's on your mind.